Hi everyone, my name is Alberta and I'm going to be your host for today, and welcome to episode 25 of the Event Live Chat Show. Today we're going to have an interesting discussion. We invited Miguel Spiteri, who is the general manager, and James Cassar, who is the founder of MYeventplanner, who are basically event organizers, especially for corporate events around Malta and Gozo. As always, if anyone has any questions, feedback, comments, perhaps you've worked with James or Miguel before, please do let us know while we are live. Especially if you have any questions, we'll be able to have James and Miguel answer them for you while we're actually live on the show. Be it if you're thinking about trying to organize a team building activity, perhaps you're working from home and there are certain things that we have not mentioned during the show, we do want to hear your side of it, and we want to be able to have an open space to talk even more about the whole situation of how working has been during 2020. In the meantime, I am going to invite James and Miguel in, so let's give them a quick big hello. Hi guys. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. All right. Hello. Colossal. Good afternoon.
Good. Hi. Good. Thank you. Good afternoon. How are you both?
Fine, thank you. We're working.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, it's a fresh start to the week. I know you guys have been working on a lot of different projects. You have some exciting stuff for us today. First off, I wanted to thank you guys for accepting the invitation to be on the Event Live Chat Show. Straight off, if we could perhaps each of you just introduce yourselves and a bit of your experience in the event industry for our audience.
So, I'm James, as the caption here says. I've been very much involved in events for quite a long time now.
Okay.
I believe it's been like 12 or 13 years. I have experience in different types of events. I'm mostly focused on the corporate side, but I'm also quite involved in the social events, large-scale mass events, whenever they used to happen. And I also happen to be quite interested in the events industry from an academic and research point of view. In fact, I've studied events and I lecture about events, even at university, both locally and abroad.
My name is Miguel, and I've been more in the catering industry for the past 15, 16 years now, both locally and abroad. Recently, I used to run a restaurant in Malta, where events obviously was part of our everyday business. And now, together with James, we're starting to push forward the industry at a difficult time, but we're managing. So it's a very good time.
Very good. And I even think now that these concepts that you've come up with and all the different things that we're going to be talking during today's show are very important, especially when you have large scale offices that are currently working from home or perhaps working 50-50 in and out, where they do need interaction, that social hi, what's up? Rather than before we used to have Friday, in the afternoon, perhaps a bit more relaxed and everyone says hi. Now everyone's limited from that. I understand 2020 has been a very, very difficult year for everyone, but I do believe in the events industry it's been even more so. But before we get into all this, perhaps, James, you could explain a bit the experiences and the history now as a company, MYeventplanner, especially in the corporate industry.
So, MYeventplanner has been in the industry for the past 9 years now, officially. I have been working as a planner even before that. But officially it's been 9 years. We're very much focused on the corporate client, and we work mostly within the niche of financial services, gaming. We have both local clients, we have international clients. So we're very much corporate-wise. We're very much into each and every type of event.
Cool.
We have a staff complement. We have a number of staff members which are very specialized within their area, and we also have what I would call an advantage. We're very diversified, and we have our own in-house equipment. We have a lot of and we have our own warehouses. These are the things that have built us up in giving the best to our clients in terms of both price and obviously quality and flexibility.
Okay, all right, super. Are there any particular type of events that you really excel in? Or like, would you say specifically in team building, or would you mainly say like with conference setups, perhaps staff parties? Perhaps you could open up for us.
To be honest, it's very difficult to say. And the reason is because we have different team members which specialize in different areas. So if it's not my area of expertise, it will be Miguel's, or it will be any of our other staff members' area of expertise. I myself work mostly on the social international company events, and be it expos, conferences. I'm very much into anything that has an international element. But yeah, I mean, we're very much into anything that is related to companies, from team building to virtual team building to conferences and office events. We've done all.
Cool. All right. You have already answered my second question for you. I was actually going to ask if there are any particular sectors that you mainly focus in, but you already told me with regards to finance, financial and gaming. So thank you. I am going to push straight into the third question that I have for you today. And now I do want to tap in a bit with COVID-19. As we know, it's been a huge struggle for everyone, especially event planners globally. And I do want to know what you have been doing to keep yourselves busy as a team, personally, and all the struggles and things that you've managed to overcome, what and how.
So yes, I mean, you are quite right in saying that it's been very challenging. And this is not just for us, it's been very challenging for anyone working within the events industry, anyone working within an international industry. Obviously, we've had to adapt. There was no choice. We did spend a week or two where we were a bit stuck in thinking on how we can, or if we actually can adapt or not. And then we just decided, like, okay, guys, this is happening, and we need to adapt. I'm very lucky to have a team that has been very flexible in adapting to the situation. Everyone has been flexible enough to shift their role into whatever was needed for the situation. And literally, we have been giving services that were needed during the pandemic. And we're also lucky enough to have a merchandising branch, which we focused on for a short period of time before we went back into working on events, but in a different way, virtually.
Okay, all right. Can you open up a bit more now with the virtual events? Like, did companies come to you saying, "Listen, like, we need something for our teams"? How did you start coming up with these cool concepts that you have planned out now?
Well, the market for virtual events, I think, was there because obviously due to COVID, I mean, after so many months where nothing could happen, obviously people were quite into having some kind of fun events to get their team together. Obviously, everyone's working from home, or most companies are working from home. People don't interact, and if that happens, we know what that could do to your company's efficiency, really. So, I think the market was there for us to go into. Obviously, the struggle was to try and sell those events because obviously no one had ever done them before. So having a virtual wine tasting or a virtual party was something which a lot of people, loved a bit when they first heard it. It is. And once, but obviously we have no idea how long this will take. I mean, so people then obviously started investigating about these, and we started slowly building our reputation for the past few months with the virtual events. We were very surprised with the feedback we got. We never expected it to do so well as it done so far for us. But every client we've done, everyone's enjoyed themselves. I mean, we try our best to obviously make it that extra bit, extra bit of fun because, I mean, it's hard because if you had to choose, for example, a virtual event, I mean, making it playful enough for people to enjoy themselves virtually is quite a struggle. So it took a lot of long hours trying to plan how we can make it a bit more fun and more interactive, rather than just a boring lecture, on a virtual call. But yeah, it's been going really well. I think people were obviously bored of having, no interaction at all between their team. So we fit right into that market, really.
Very good, very good, very good. Do you feel that they will remain popular virtual events even after the whole situation starts hopefully calming down in the beginning of next year?
Um, the thing is, for example, talking about us, our packages are so versatile that we strongly believe that yes, even next year there will still be strong enough for us to be able to use and companies to be able to use. I mean, obviously, having people abroad and having people that live abroad, you can also use those for any teams that you have working from outside of our shores. So that could be an option. But even on a weekly basis, I mean, they can still be used definitely. And what this has shown us is, and our feedback we got is that people actually really enjoyed it, and not just for the fact that it's a virtual COVID, etc. But people actually had fun doing them while staying at home, in the luxury of their
Yeah,
own home, not getting all dressed up, all done up for the event, but they could still sit with their friends, have a glass of wine, or
yeah,
have a few beers, or have a couple of whiskeys. And yeah, people loved it. So we strongly believe that we will keep selling these packages onto the new year, yes, irrelevant
very good.
of COVID and whatnot. So we're very confident with that.
Very good, very good. I do have a question. Perhaps as a, I don't know, somebody from above trying to plan these events, do you see the full interaction coming through from the different employees because it is done virtually? Do you think there is a big difference, or do you think you have managed to set up certain things in your virtual team building activities to actually overcome and have people, at the end all be with their attention, all completely like, yes, wow, with that smile on their face? Because I'm sure it's pretty boring working from home, Monday to Friday.
To be very honest, we had this issue in the beginning. Like me and James sat down together with the rest of our team, and we all tried to get our heads straight on how we're going to take it forward. Because to be
Okay.
quite honest, to do a virtual event, it takes 5-10 minutes to plan. So we could send you all the stuff at home and everyone log in, and you have the virtual event. The only issue is obviously how to get the people together from home, how to make it playful enough that everyone enjoys themselves, not to make it boring, not to make it too informative, and obviously reaching out with the event to the different people which are there. Because if someone's doing a wine tasting, for example, one person might enjoy a more informative session, someone else might enjoy a more playful session. So that was one of our main issues in the beginning. But after a few days of planning, between us and finally managing to sell a few of these, we realized that we'd actually found the perfect balance. So the way we did the events was that you have certain instances where there's Q&As, there's different polls, there's different ideas set within the session to make it more interactive. So if you had to
Okay.
go, for example, for a craft beer tasting, it wouldn't have been you receive your beers, you drink them, and that's it. So there's different ways in which what we have done. Obviously, I won't give much information, but yes, they're actually
You need to
very,
try
very,
it to
very
see
good,
it.
and they're very playful.
Obviously, there was a process from the planning and the idea to the actual implementation. So as I said, as Miguel said, actually, coming up with the idea doesn't take much. It's implementing it and getting it done in the proper way that takes a lot of time, and it also required a lot of testing. So we've tried it out. We've asked people, we've asked our own staff to try it out. We've asked our clients we consider friends to try it out. They've tried it out. They've sent us feedback, and we immediately noticed that the feedback was great. It was even better than we thought it would be. So that's where we said, okay, let's go for it. Let's try these virtual packages because it seems like there's the need for these events. It's the only option at this point in time, and you can't just have a company that decides not to do anything because it's difficult. There were companies who were telling us, give us a solution to this problem, and I believe that these were, after they were tried and tested, they were actually the solution.
Yes.
Also, Alberta, what to say is that we started off first with a small set of different virtual events. So we had like 3 or 4. And then every day, after every event, now we have about 12, 14 different events where we just kept building one on top of the other, and there's different add-ons. So for example, you can have, so now we're also doing staff parties where they last 3 to 4 hours, all virtual, where you have different shows in between, different sessions, so it's worked out really well. And I think obviously having the experience of James when it comes to the clients and the logistics of all the events. You have the catering industry behind me. So even when it comes to the food and drink packages, I think we matched really well. Now obviously we have a massive sort of packages, well, massive, but a substantial sort of packages that has just been built on, and every day we try and add a couple more, just to keep it going.
Interesting. Wow, well done, guys. I do want now, I'm very curious. I need to know more information on virtual staff parties. I mean, I know it's, a lot of companies, I'm sure, and I have been speaking with different companies and everyone, and they're all telling me that sort of they don't know what to do for staff parties. For Christmas event, they're stuck and they're just going ahead with just not planning anything. So tell me more what this is of the virtual staff party. Let's call it that.
So, what we've done first of all is that we've partnered with an expert in each field. Okay, so although we'll be running the virtual parties ourselves, every session, what we've done is we've teamed up with a cocktail expert, a wine expert, a beer expert, etc. Just to make sure that obviously it is done well and proper, basically. The most popular ones were the craft beer tasting, the wine tasting, whiskey, the cocktail masterclass has proved also very popular. There's plenty. There's the sip and paints lessons, there's dance lessons, online quizzes. So there's plenty of different options. But they've all proven to be actually really, really, really popular. Normally the sessions last for about an hour and a half, 1 hour to an hour and a half. Obviously, the bigger the group is, the more interaction there is, so the longer it will take for the session. Some clients have also joined a couple of sessions together to make the party longer. So, for example, if you wanted a 3-hour session, you can add 2 sessions together, and we've done it before.
Having different teams basically interact.
Exactly.
Okay.
The actual session, as far as the client is aware, he's got nothing to worry about. All he has to do is obviously choose which session he's going for and then give us all the details of the people attending. One day before or on the day, we deliver the packages in all individual homes, irrelevant of the number of people attending, where they get a well-packaged box with all the ingredients. If you go for the food options, there'll be the food inside as well. And then all they have to do is the team members, which will be attending the virtual event, they just have to click the link, which we send them as a company. They use our company's accounts for the virtual call and just log in. So, as regards to setup and planning from the actual company, they've got absolutely nothing to worry about. All we would need is just the name of the people and the addresses of the people attending for us to deliver, and for them just to choose the events.
Amazing.
So
Amazing. Super interesting.
Is obviously we've also created the staff party packages, as you mentioned. So we actually get in these different bits and pieces which we mix together, and we also add add-ons of entertainment. And we have loads of different entertainment, from basic music setups to magic shows to people drawing stuff as a cartoon. We have a lot of different entertainment options, online bingo. Literally, there's, you name it, we have it. And we just create a tailor-made package for around 3 to 4 hours. That's usually a stop party. And the good thing about it is that, well, if you feel like you need to disconnect a bit for 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, you can just stop and start again. So it's not like you are in a venue and you can't leave and come back. It does have a number of advantages. And obviously, it can go as long as the company wants. We've done staff events of 2 hours, we've done staff events of 1 hour, and we've done staff events of much longer than that. So it's very, very flexible.
Okay, all right. And is there like a maximum quantity of people that you can have, or at least like, is there a maximum number that you've tried so far with quantity of people?
There's no maximum number of people, so the numbers are quite large, so we've not had any issues with that. I mean, ideally, to be fairly honest, is if you have massive groups, you ideally split them in two groups. Like that, you would have more interaction between groups, okay, and you won't have too much interference on the call.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've done sessions of 15 people. And we've done sessions for 95 people. The 95 people were so much, you have no idea, honestly. It was out of this world, because an hour session will take 2 hours, because everyone will start asking questions, everyone's having a laugh. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's the festive season. You can't, I mean, obviously COVID has struck all of us, okay? But we can't just expect, people to be working from home, not interacting, not having anything for Christmas, which is the reality, unfortunately. We have to keep in mind that these employees are now stuck at home, so that's going to be very, very, although it sounds easier, it's actually very hard because you lost all interaction. Okay, I mean, going to work for most employees is a day out. It's meeting friends, meeting colleagues, having a laugh. All of a sudden now that's thrown out the window. So this is just something small which can get everyone back together, which is super important, both for mental health of employees and also for your company's efficiency.
Yeah. In fact, I was actually going to ask this with regards to key benefits that you would see are coming out from different companies, different clients of yours that are going ahead with these virtual team building activities. I'm sure health-wise, mentally, for a lot of different employees, this is very, very important. And I do want to point out for any companies or anybody watching the show at the moment, do get some information on something like this, because you'd never really know, I think, what a person is really passing through, especially from going to see them 5 day a week in the office. So you get to physically shake their hand or give them a hug, sort of, that everyday routine, to not seeing them completely, but then you're on Slack, for example. Hi, good morning. How are you? I'm good, thanks. And you? It's very cold, I feel. Have you seen any other key benefits apart from like mental happening with different employees in different companies?
I mean, I think what we've heard so far from our clients, which we've worked with, was actually quite. It was surprising, because to be quite honest, we didn't know at first how it was going to plan out. But the main benefit, I think, was getting the team back together. So you had teams of 30, 40 people that have not met for the past 3 to 4 months. Okay, obviously. You still do Zoom calls or company calls, so people are still seeing each other. But I mean, everyone knows when you're in office, you're going to have a laugh, so a couple of jokes being passed around, you're going to have a smile on your face. People are looking after each other. All of a sudden, that's gone with COVID. So this small gesture, so you're talking of a simple wine tasting. So everyone's had a drink. no one's spoken for the first 5 minutes. Once people have gotten 2 glasses of wine in them, everyone starts, to have a laugh, have a joke, and then you start reminiscing about what it was like 4 months ago, So I think the main benefits, obviously mental health is very important, and we can't stress enough about that. But I think the main benefit was getting the team back together and everyone back with a smile on his face. So it was, and for us also, it's good to see everyone, enjoying it, because I mean, it's what we've done for our life for the past, 15, 16 years. So this is a good compromise, to keep going something different, and also keeps us going as well.
For
I
sure.
think
I mean,
it's,
you guys are
it's
you guys are
I think
used to
it's
doing
been
events of 300, 400 people, and now all of a sudden, sort of, you're locked in your office. Like, Isma, you comfortable with me coming? Yes. Okay. Go on, James. Tell me.
we've had companies who told us, look, we have an issue. We have new staff which have joined us 2, 3, 4 months ago, and we don't even know who these people are. We've never met them. We just don't have a name and we have a surname. We really need to connect. And we can't do so because we can't meet. What are we going to do? And well, this was a very, very good way of connecting. We've had companies using virtual events in different ways. We've had companies using virtual events to motivate staff to push more. We've had companies using virtual events as a reward to people who have hit targets. Because usually they actually get them out and they go out for a team building and out for a lunch or a dinner. You can't do that now. So virtual event was the solution for it. And we've literally had team events where they actually meet each other for the first time, or just to touch base again and discuss something that is not work related. The disadvantage of virtual is that you get things done quickly, but it completely removes the small talk option, which is good to get things done, but it's very bad for the relationship between staff. I mean, the friendly relationship, not the work relationship. So virtual events give the opportunity for the small talk, for the chatting, for the for the non-work related things to discuss.
Okay, super. The normal socialization, let's call it, non-work related. I know you guys have already started mentioning a lot of the different activities. I think you have a really, really good list. I don't know if you want to re-mention certain things, or perhaps even tell us the most popular or most effective virtual events you've been working on.
I think that the top 4 most popular ones have been the virtual wine tasting, which has proven very popular, where you get 4 or 5 different types of wines, depending on how much you would like to have. What we do is we make sure that every wine session has a story. So every wine has a different story. So they're all from different regions, from different places around the world. And we do that on purpose, so it can be a bit playful, it's a bit different, and there's a story behind the wines. All wines are accompanied by charcuterie boards, so you have different kinds of hams, cheeses, olives,
Yes.
jams.
White wine
So they're
China.
all, yeah, so that's one of them. I mean, the other most popular ones are the craft beer. So you have 4 different types of craft beers from over the world as well. You have the whiskey tasting, so you have 4 different whiskeys from all over the world. The cocktail masterclass, the feedback we got with that was fantastic. So you get all the ingredients in small jars delivered to all the homes. You can get branded cocktail equipment, and you get a small package, all the ingredients, all
Very
the food,
cool.
and then obviously you can mix, your own cocktails, learn how to shake them. So they're all very, very good fun. So I think those are the top 4 really.
I think I would just add that we also have some team building that is more, that also has a touch of work inside it as well. For example, we have motivational speeches, but they're accompanied by a delivered lunch or delivered dinner. So you can still mix and match business with pleasure. And then just after the motivational speech, which would be based around the principles and and the aims of the company. You'd have some wind down time to discuss and chat between the employees. And yeah, there are so many like cooking classes. Literally, I mean, we have the Christmas version of all the different visual events. So we have a Christmassy twist to all the events. So some people tell us, okay, what am I going to do for Christmas? And I'm like, okay, we have the Christmas list, and if you don't want to do something for Christmas, then you have the normal list.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Miguel has actually come up with the Christmas list, and they're perfect for the season because people need Christmas events, and that's precisely what we're going to give them.
Very good. I do think that when we look at the Christmas season, we're very looking forward to a happy season. A season, that Christmas period, we're always interacting, we're always going out. I think week after week we have X amount of events. It's like really that fun time that you're preparing for. So I think that you guys have done an amazing job by preparing that Christmas festive season, twist, because at least we're trying to, I mean, it's still a year, you still want to end your year on a good note. You still want January to start off at a better note. And for January to start off at a better note, you need to be in a good mood in December. I really do think you guys have done an amazing job with all these different ideas. I don't know, perhaps you could tell us some feedback specifically from companies, what they've told you, like even the positive things that have happened in the company since the events.
I think one of the main things was that actually, because this was new, no one had any expectations for this. So they had no idea how it was going to be, or how much they're going to enjoy it, basically, or what it was going to be like in general. So when we did the first few, and when we got the feedback saying, listen, this was fantastic, I never expected it to be so good, really enjoyed it, let's book again, and they start doing, a couple a week, and it was, the feedback we got so far was that this was a much needed breath of fresh air to many people. Everyone loved it. I mean, obviously, this is all new, so it was all, I mean, what we do as well is we try to do an experience behind it. So from the moment we deliver the package, how the delivery is packaged, and what's inside the packaging, the quality of the products as well. So if they're wines, then they're very good quality wines. They're not, run-of-the-mill wines that you will get everywhere. If they're craft beers, they are craft beers which have got a story behind them from small producers. So the experience is there. But the feedback we got was very positive from all the companies we've worked with so far. And the thing is that no one could understand how it was going to work. So we just said to our clients, listen, leave it in our hands. I mean, trust us, they've been trusting us for the past years with their events. We wouldn't have let them down now. So we just told them, listen, trust us, leave it in our hands. And the feedback we got was incredible. I mean, we're always in the background during the virtual events. So, I mean, having a smile on our face during the event just sets it all, really, because once we see the people laughing and having a few drinks, So, I mean, we had a fancy dress virtual event not long ago, and it was the most fun I've had in a long time. So it was really, really cool. It was fantastic. So
Super.
yeah, the feedback has been fantastic, and it just keeps, makes us, stronger, and it just keeps fueling us to, get, go stronger, and keep going forward.
Great. And from my understanding as well, these virtual events, they don't have to be, exactly as what you're planning out on the piece of paper or on the email when you're sending out the first time. I mean, like you're telling me with the fancy dress, you can create a complete different concept for each different company and for each different expectation that they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, so for example, I mean, I have a client which obviously wanted a virtual event for their Christmas stuff party. Now, normally it takes, as everyone knows, 4 or 5 hours, even longer for a Christmas stuff do. So our packages are normally built on a 1-hour session. Obviously, we always say you need to probably take longer, but a minimum of 1 hour. Because once people start interacting, it always tends to, get stuck and keep going longer, which is a good thing, and it's fantastic. We really like that. So, I mean, we've been building packages individually for clients. So from Christmas hats and, antlers and all this, to different sessions, magic shows, bingo nights. I mean, I tell you what, you've never seen a cooler bingo game than having a
Yeah.
staff bingo game on a Zoom account. It's fantastic. And I mean, we would build any package. So you tell us, listen, Miguel, James, I need a 3-hour Christmas virtual event. And we do it. I mean, we've been doing it regularly now for the past month or so. So yes, I mean, all our sessions they tend to be for an hour and a half. But once you start mixing, matching, throwing some entertainment, and then you could get to 3-4 hours easily for
Easy.
a
Easy.
Christmas event.
I mean, if you
It's
have a
what we do
company
really.
of
I mean,
go
at the
on,
end
go
of the
on,
day,
James.
we're event planners. Cheers. At the end of the day, we're event planners, so it's what we do. It's not the copy paste and just putting in the same package over and over again. Our expertise comes in when we actually tailor make something that is made precisely for the client's needs. So that's exactly our touch. That's why people would come to us, because they want something that's tailor made, something that's different, and something that's innovative. That's where we can excel.
I love it. Guys, well done. We are coming up to an end to the show. So I did want to ask you guys a last question, with if you have any particular advice for companies that are trying to plan their events, or even for fellow event planners around.
So, I mean, for fellow event planners, well, we need to adapt and just don't give up. We're literally all in this together. I mean, at least with the other event planners, we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to have set up a company that's based on something that at the moment can't happen. It's challenging. It's very tough. We know what it means like to have a set of skills that have suddenly become useless, but that can be used to adapt to different requirements. So we know that we've been through it. Just don't give up. And for the companies who are looking for options for their staff, I mean, I don't think that the solution is to wait for COVID to pass. We don't know when it will pass. I think that the staff deserves some events. The staff deserves some motivation. And just like I used to always promote events, the physical events, when pre-COVID, just like now I still promote events, the virtual ones, because they're safe and because the benefits they're still required, they're still needed. And staff needs to work together they need to bond together in order to work better together. So yeah, my suggestion is try them out, or get in touch. We're happy to do a test session if you really have no idea how it's going to work. If you have questions, I understand you might have questions because this is new. It's new for everyone, or it used to be new for us back in April.
Exactly.
Now I would consider myself to be more knowledgeable about it. So I'm more than happy to pass on the knowledge. And so I'm sure so is Miguel.
Super. I have put the link for your Evently profile for everyone that's watching the show. There is in the post description the profile page for James and Miguel, so you can actually contact them there. But perhaps, guys, you want to give like even your number and your email address quickly before we end the show.
I mean, our emails are Miguel and James. So Miguel at myeventplanner.com.mt and James at myeventplanner.com.mt. Even if you have just a few questions or some queries about it, we'd be happy to help. I mean, and even if someone needs some advice on what you're going to do for your team, if this is not ideal for you, there's other things which we can offer as well. But yeah, get in touch. I mean, it's nice to just sometimes share your thoughts, and we're to help both of us.
Amazing. All right, guys, thank you very much. I think we've given a lot of valuable information. I'm very, very happy with the show. A pleasure it's been actually speaking with you guys. So thank you very much for the invitation. I'm managing to squeeze it in because I know, James, you have a busy day. Every time I speak to you, you're just going from one thing to the next thing, always going in to give something better, and working on a new project. I don't know if you have any final words, guys, before I end the show.
So just in a nutshell, first of all, thanks, Alberto. It was a real pleasure for us to be here. I hope that what we've said has in some way or another been beneficial to anyone who's listening. And yeah, just last few words is just don't give up. If you really want to organize an event, there is a solution. And yeah, just contact us, even if it's just ideas you're looking for. I mean, we're more than happy to give out ideas, and we've always been quite easy to help, quite easygoing. So it's not about, we're not just about sending quotes and stuff. We're happy to send over ideas. We're happy to help out companies that have no idea, no clue how they're going to organize this event or what they're going to do for Christmas, which seems to be a very challenging task at the moment.
Thanks, Alberta, for the invite. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having us. I think James summed up perfectly what we as a company are all about. And we look forward to viewers getting in touch and having a word with us. Maybe we can help them out.
Amazing. Thank you very much, guys. Perfect ending for today's show. I am going to wave you guys goodbye so we can end the show for all our viewers. So I hope to see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
There you have it, guys. This was episode 25 with MYeventplanner based in Malta, which are working on some amazing virtual events, be it if it's you're trying to get your team motivated, you want to give them some sort of staff activity for during the Christmas holidays, you want even just to get them a bit interacting, new employees perhaps starting out. There's a lot of different ideas that they've mentioned that even wouldn't have even crossed my mind, but it's very difficult to transition a team going from, and I know a lot of companies have done it so simultaneously well, going from working every day into the office to all of a sudden in March working everyone from home, that sometimes we forget to think that these people are used to socializing. These people are used to, interacting, having a laugh, having a glass of wine, just joking around. So doing something like this, I definitely recommend speaking to James and Miguel, just even to get a bit of an idea, even to see if it's worth it for you and the company to do. And even if it's not perhaps for a company, even if you're friends, you haven't met for a long time or anything, I do even recommend to speak with James and Miguel, because I do think these activities are really fun to do, even just between friends. As always, thank you very much for everyone watching the show, and I hope to see you guys next time. See you, bye.